everybody? Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch, and today we're going to talk about UFC 259 going down this Saturday, March 6th on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Now, this is a special card because we have three title fights going down on this card. So that's 75 minutes or less of top flight, best of the best action. And what more can you ask for in that? We also have two fights on the main card where we have Islam Makachev fighting Drew Dober. And I think, let me look at this real quick. That's a lightweight fight. And then in the light heavyweight division, we've got Thiago Santos, who is returning from layoff against, let me look at this real quick, Alexander Rakic. I probably butchered that name, so sorry, Mr. Alexander. But those also look like some very intriguing fights. So this card right here looks to be very, very entertaining. Now, also for boxing fans, I'm shooting this on Friday, so when you see this, it's probably going to be close to time for that to happen. Clarissa Shields is fighting on her first pay-per-view event, also something that she put together herself. So shout out to her for doing that and making a move for her career. As she begins to transition into MMA, she has a light middleweight unification bout going on. So she's attempting to become, she's already the undisputed middleweight champ, trying to become the undisputed junior middleweight champ. That's going to be something unheard of in women's boxing. So I think we should get behind her. But let's get back to the MMA action that we're going to talk about today. So the three title fights. We've got Piotr versus Jermaine Sterling for the 135-pound bantamweight title. We've got Amanda Nunes versus Meagan Anderson for the 145-pound women's featherweight title. And then we have Jan Blachowicz fighting Israel Adesanya for the light heavyweight title. Adesanya being the middleweight champ currently reigning. So this is another one of those champ situations for Adesanya, and a chance for Blachowicz to show people that he's for real. A lot of people, myself included, I picked Dominic Reyes to win that fight that they had together, and Blachowicz had other ideas. He said, nope, I'm the man, and I'm going to show you all I'm the man. So here's another chance, because once again, most people are rolling with Adesanya. And we'll get into that after we talk about the other two fights. So two of these fights are very competitive, have a lot of questions, how style's going to play out, different variables. And one of them is looking a little not as competitive. And being a mixed martial arts fan, you probably know which fight that is, and that's the Amanda Nunes fight. This woman looks invincible. Just seeing how she's been running through a list of very, very competitive women and making it look easy. She is quickly staking her claim as one of the top women's fighters in history. And we are witnessing that fight by fight. Going back to the Chris Cyborg fight. I thought that fight was going to be hard. Cyborg was going to be a rough, hard fight for her, and that fight lasted less than 2 minutes, and with Cyborg face first on the canvas. So Amanda Nunes is the woman. So with that being said, let's talk about that fight first. Meagan Anderson, who was the former Invicta women's champ, is coming into the UFC, came in, based on that, has had some ups and downs, but is coming off a knockout win, and right now looks to be the best featherweight that's not named Amanda Nunes. However, with those deficiencies that she's shown so far, and she has gotten better, don't get me wrong, she has gotten better, she's been working on her game, but I don't think there's anybody out there that thinks that she's worked on her game to the point where she would be able to outstrike, out wrestle, or out grapple Amanda Nunes. There is no place in the octagon that she's going to be able to go that she's going to be able to outperform Amanda Nunes, who is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, who has excellent kickboxing skills, who is, like I said, a flat-out beast. She can knock you out on the feet. She can wrestle you on the ground, as she did with Jermaine Durandaby. She can, get submissions like she did with Miesha Tate. I mean, pick your poison. She's going to wreck you. And that's what all signs point to in this fight. Meagan Anderson is a bigger woman than her, being 6 feet tall. She is really tall. She does have some strength, but Amanda Nunes is just on a whole nother level. And this is one of those why you fight the fight type of fights where you expect Amanda Nunes to just run through her, but there could be, on any given night when people are getting punched in the face, Meagan Anderson could step up and rise to the occasion. And if we see that, that makes for a great night of TV. Don't see it happening, but there is a small possibility that it could. So I'm going with Amanda Nunes within 2 rounds. I don't think she's going to have much trouble with Anderson, especially once she figures out the range. It's going to be over very, very quickly. So let's talk about the lightweight title fight between Piotr Jan and Aljamain Sterling. This one has some questions. Piotr Jan, who has looked like a straight savage coming up, but he has never fought anyone like Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling has a background in wrestling, which none of the guys that Jan has fought has really shown that. Uriah Faber has some wrestling, a little bit of wrestling, but he didn't really use it that much in his MMA career. He was a very unorthodox striker. He would get people down and rear naked them to death. He was one of the people that got me into mixed martial arts because, I was a big fan of Uriah Faber when he was coming up and when he was the WEC champ. So Jan was able to catch him right, at the end of his career and decimate him. He beat the crap out of Jose Aldo, who is an absolute legend. But like I said, none of those guys are going to bring to the table what Sterling does. Now, Sterling does kind of remind me of a younger Uriah Faber, where you really don't know what type of attack he's going to come with. He mixes up his strikes very well. He does a lot of spinning attacks. He'll do off-angle attacks. And while he has not shown a lot of late round capability, that wrestling background goes to show that he most likely will have the gas tank to go 5 hard rounds. I think, let me pull that back up. When I was looking at it, he had only been 5 rounds once. And that was a while ago. I'm pulling that up real quick just to make sure that I'm right on that. But Jan, on the other hand, has gone 5 rounds a couple times, but not in a grueling fight like he is expected to have against Sterling. Sterling's going to be going for takedowns. Sterling's going to be going for submissions. Sterling's going to be trying to grind him out and wear him out. And he hasn't fought anybody that's tried to do that to him. A lot of people are trying to, stand up with him. So, yeah, I see one 5-round fight in a minor MMA card that Aljamain has had. So, while he doesn't have that experience in the octagon or in the cage, being a seasoned wrestler, their gas tanks are second to none. Nobody's outpacing a wrestler. So if anything, that's going to be his number one strength going into this fight, is making sure that he can outlast Jan if they get into a long, drawn-out fight. I think I saw Jan slow down a little bit versus Aldo, but Aldo wasn't giving him a lot of trouble to, really press the issue on that. Then he caught a second win and was able to stop him in the final round. So this fight, it really is a toss-up because Jan can crack. Now, the only KO loss Aljamain Sterling has is to Marlon Moraes, and he caught him with a knee. However, it has happened. Jan is undefeated, I believe. Let me just check that real quick. No, he's lost one fight by decision. So we got two guys who are highly accomplished. This is going to be one of those edge of your seat fights to figure out how it's going to go. I want to know how you guys think it's going to go. Same thing with Amanda Nunes. But, man, hard to pick on this one. This is a flip a coin. This is pick 'em. I want to say based on that gas tank, I think I'm going to go with Sterling. Unless Jan catches him and is able to hurt him and stop him, I think he will be able to pick up the pace as Jan slows down and take those late rounds. So I'm going with Aljamain Sterling by decision on this one. Maybe a late round stoppage, but probably by decision. So let's talk about the main event. It's probably why you all are here. Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz with the Polish power. Man, this is another one of those fights that has a lot of questions. Israel coming up 20 pounds to fight the champ of the next division up. That's a lot of weight. Luke Rockhold found that out the hard way against Blachowicz. A lot of Chris Weidman, same thing. Came up from 185, found out the hard way. It was a whole new ball game up here at 205. Now, Adesanya has competed at heavyweight in kickboxing. Different sport. Totally different sport. As far as his striking, top notch. I mean, the guy is a savant in there. The things he's hitting guys with, they're not seeing it coming. They're not used to the style that he is bringing into the octagon at all. He's hardly getting touched outside the Gastelum fight, and I can see why people are rolling with him to win this fight. But Jan, man, that power is hard to ignore. I thought he was going to lose against Dominic Reyes, as I said in the beginning of this video, based on some of the same reasons why a lot of people are picking Adesanya to win this one. Reyes was faster. Reyes was better on his feet. Reyes was more explosive. But Reyes had light heavyweight power to go along with it. Blachowicz did not care about any of that. And he shut all of that down with some brutal body kicks. I mean, you could see blisters on the side of Dominic Reyes during that fight. And that fight was only 2 rounds long. So, I mean, he is bringing some heat with those punches. And that left hook that he caught him with over the top in close didn't even look that hard. Had Dominic Reyes on spaghetti legs, didn't take but like maybe 2 more punches to end that fight. But he was in that fight, he was able to control the distance. And he was able to make the fight go on his terms. And that's Adesanya's strength. He is very good at slowing a fight down and making people make mistakes and make them pay for those mistakes. That's his bread and butter. He's been doing it excellently throughout his mixed martial arts career. Now, he is slightly taller than Blachowicz. He has a slightly longer reach. Come fight night, he's probably going to be around the same thing he weighed in at. He was like a little over 200 pounds. So he's probably going to be around the same weight. I don't see him doing any rehydrating because he didn't really cut weight. Blachowicz, on the other hand, is probably going to put on 10 to 15 pounds, maybe more, which could end up being to his disadvantage if he can't use it in like clinches and attempting takedowns to use that weight to wear Adesanya out. If Adesanya makes this a striking match, it's going to get ugly because Blachowicz is then going to be using that weight and missing shots and trying to carry it around and chase him around the cage, and that's not going to bode well for him. He's going to get picked apart and probably stopped at getting hit with a counter that he doesn't see coming. But if he can get a hold of Adesanya, who has shown great defense at middleweight with the grappling, but he's going to have a much bigger man grabbing a hold of him, a much more powerful man than he's faced at middleweight, outside of Yoel Romero, who doesn't really use wrestling that much. That's why they kind of had a pretty stale match. So, like I said, this one has a lot of question marks. Definitely want to know how you guys think this is going to go. I'm still on the fence. I like the precision of Adesanya. I like the speed. I like the varied attack. I like the angles, the different moves he employs from the different sports, from kickboxing and mixed martial arts. He throws some boxing moves in there, and it's beautiful stuff. But being a competitor at one point in my life and being in a similar situation where I fought somebody that was in a higher weight class, there's a reason that you only see the elite of the elite being successful when they step up. It is very hard. It matters in the realm of competition. That weight matters, which is why they have the classes. We had like the Hoist Gracies and the Bruce Lees, and like I said, I have competed against people that weigh more than me and was successful in that. I also had some where I was unsuccessful. You think about the Manny Pacquiao's, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Oscar De La Hoyas, guys who have gone several different weight classes and still been successful. And you think that's something that's normal, but it's not. It's really not normal. You see a lot of guys, they start going up weight classes because, they get too big, but their performance starts to dwindle. They may be successful against the middle tier of those higher weights, but once they get to those elite guys, they can't hang. But Adesanya is another elite guy going in against an elite guy of a higher weight. And based on what we've seen from both guys, you kind of can't pick against Adesanya. I mean, he's just too accurate. He's too slick. His attack is too nuanced for you to be like, yeah, I can't pick. I can see somebody beating that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Adesanya. I just talked myself into it right there today. So if you feel different, tell me why. Hit us up in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Who's going to win this fight? Who's going to win the Nunes fight? Who's going to win the Jan and Sterling fight? Hit us up in the comment section below. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let us know what you guys think of the fight. Follow us on there for Fight Talk. I'll definitely be posting while the fights are going on. Rob is probably going to put some videos up as well. He'll definitely be covering next week's fights between Chocolatito Gonzalez and I can't remember the guy's name. It's a rematch, but Estrada. That's going to be a really good boxing fight, and Rob is probably going to break that down really well. So hit the subscribe button so you can see that also, and then you see the recap after these fights, where we talk about what actually happened versus what we thought would happen. And I'm looking forward to talking about all that with you all. So hit that subscribe button, follow us on social media, and until the next video, fight on.
won and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and gone. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.